So welcome back to another episode of Every Trade Behind the Build. I need to apologise, I am rough today. I really should be at home. However, as you know, when you're in business, you can't take a day off. If I take a day off, it'll just be, my mental health will go through the floor and I'll just be anxious all weekend that I've missed something or something's not get done. Something's not been done. So yeah, I'm going to battle on, but thanks for your sympathy in advance. In this episode, I'm going to address a few elephants in the room. But before I do that, I thought it'd be nice to come and have a look at Project Grange, which we've not really had a proper look. I know Hollywood's been here a couple of times, but I thought now the scaffold's down, we'll come have a look and show you this job in a little bit more detail where possible. So yeah, stay tuned because I really am going to address a couple of things that have been raised in the comments in this episode, but I'll do that later when I'm back in the office. Let's have a look. Oof, so I found my cup of tea, thank goodness. Before we go in, I just spotted this van. This is Matt's van, Matt Leach, one of our joiners. Top lad, the lad with the top knot, but he gets away with it because he's a really, really good joiner. But look how faded this is. Things like this really irritate me. This is actually the oldest van we've got in the fleet now, which is a 66 plate. We bought it from new. It's been a great van. These hold the value quite well, but look, you can see knocks and bangs and things like that. And I think that if a customer walking past down this road sees this, what are they going to think? I mean, yeah, it's not a battered old van, but this looks faded. It's not the right colour anymore. It's knocks, bangs, things like that. So what I'm going to do, I know mechanically it's great because that's why I didn't sell it, because mechanically it's great and it holds its value. But I think what I'm going to do is get this in for some TLC and try and bring it back to life because I can't have that. That's like a sick yellow. But yeah, let's have a look. First thing I want to show you is how good I think the brick match was on this. You'll know, I think I've mentioned this before, it's really hard to get a really, really good brick match on any house because obviously any batch of bricks was made at any certain time, could be 30, 40, 50 years ago from one quarry, made one way, and it's weathered over time. So to get a good match is hard, but I'm pretty happy with this one. I think that by and large, the match blends in well with the existing. It's quite hard to tell what's existing and what's not. I'm not going to get too deep into brickwork and stuff like that because I know there's a lot of purist bricklayers that really fight out. I'm in one of the bricklaying groups on Facebook. I don't know why I'm in it, to be honest, but oh my God, if someone puts some work on that's not good enough, they absolutely crucify him. It's one of them industries, isn't it, where it's just, they don't hold back. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. But then the customer just said to the lads this morning, his plan long term is to get the front elevation rendered. So I don't know why you'd spend money on face brickwork if you're going to get it rendered. But yeah, the scaffold's down. You'll see the roof line is on. We've renewed, obviously what here, this is all new. So we've put fascias, soffits, obviously a dry verge system up the side, and we've gone with the grey tile, which I've mentioned a few times now. And the customer, again, thinks down the line he's going to get the main elevation changed because it doesn't match these nice grey tile, but obviously on top it's the really old weathered red looking tiles. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. It's nice now you've seen it down. I'm really happy with it. The customer's here now, so I better go say hello. See, this is what's happening here now. Adam and Eve are getting a treat from the customer. The tradesmen always get the good stuff. Did you throw that at me? Oh, what's this here now? Look at this. None of these will be for us, but I don't care. I'd rather the lads have them. So I'm now in what was the old front reception room, and what we've done is built that front lean-to extension. Remember, we did the plans on this as well, that TB did, which is great, so we can really see it through and see how we visualised it and see it come together. We've added about 1 metre here. We've got a vaulted roof section, and yeah, the customers had to pay for essentially 1 metre of extension, and the structural work that's gone into it is ridiculous, but it's made an amazing difference. It's gone from what is a small, pokey living room to a really luxurious sized living room. But if you look at the structural work that we've had to do here, we took out the front of this house and the side of the house, and we're taking out large sections of the back. Well, that's done now. It's been ridiculous. So essentially, where I'm stood now, I was on the old driveway, and yeah, it's a monster bit of work we've done that the guys have done actually. And looking at it, we've got a piece of, 2 pieces of steel bolted together here, which is holding up the front elevation of the new extension, and then we've got these monster steels on a goalpost configuration, which is holding up the front of the house. So yeah, I love it. I love structural work like this, but it's great for us to see that from design to build. I've just had a quick chat and catch up with a customer there and they're over the moon, even at this stage, which is not a nice stage, but they're over the moon. They're actually doing it for their elderly parents. So we've thought of a few things about widening the hallways, where we're going to put switches so they can, you know, switch on their bedroom lights when they get out of bed. We've future-proofed as well. We're going to put a downstairs wet room in for them just in case they can't navigate the stairs. So yeah, I'm pleased with this. Again, I love being on site, but I don't get on site enough, to be honest with you. I'm going to keep looking around, seeing what's what. Whilst I'm doing that, let's go over to Preferred Joinery, where we're going to get the Abiso order. So again, this is this vertical strategy. We are the customer and the supplier. Those windows are almost ready for delivery to site, and hopefully, if all goes to plan, we're going to go to site. Hollywood, the man that's up to no good, is going to fly over to Abiso and show you some of the windows going in. So again, you can see that end-to-end situation that we've got. So yeah, over to Preferred.
So welcome back to Preferred Joinery, and today got a little busy day today inside. I'm actually going to be for quite a while. We've got a little bit of training to do on our new CRM software that we're integrating into the company, which is going to be really good for us, which will enable us to track a couple of things and do other things and assist in the office and on the back end side of things. So we'll talk about that a little bit later, maybe towards the end. But inside, we've got all the windows getting done. Richard is now jumped on the windows with Danny for the Abiso job. Devo's doing what he needs to do to stop doing all the machine and getting ready for the next load of jobs to come through. Loads of doors getting done as always now. We seem to be doing loads of doors. And the door for Tony for A&E is ready to go out to the spray company as well. So let's go and see how we're getting on. So you can see behind me now, Tony's A&E front entrance door is now fully done, ready to be picked up and took to the spray shop. So today, the rest of the boxes for the Abiso job are coming in. That's the first set that are coming there. All the sashes are all done now, all glazed up as well, sitting up there ready to be done. Richard and Danny are now getting ready. They've got the carpet out, the boxes are going on the benches, and I'm making a start today to start putting it all together to finally complete them. But as I say, the rest of the boxes are coming in today, and then the same guy, delivery guy, is then going to take the door and frame to the spray shop to get sprayed for Tony. So you can see there now, it's all done. Last little bits of touch-ups are done. It's all been pre-hung, ready, so that when it comes back, all the hinges and that'll be put on, and then Richard, main man Richard, will be putting it all together as the final person to touch the door, ready for it to go to site. So while I was just talking about the door then, the lads who do the spraying for us have just given us a quick call just to confirm the colour. So when we've been asking for the piano black, they've come back and said you need to speak to the customer first and just speak to them and see if they definitely want to go ahead with it. So when you see like the London doors and they're dead shiny, they're either like a plastic PVC or they're aluminium metal and they've been sprayed. That's why they look perfect. Whereas when you've got a timber door and you're trying to get that finish, you can see sometimes the inconsistencies of the grain through it. It's dead hard to get it fully smooth and flat. So the shinier the door, the more you can see. So they said they do a door that's 60% shiny. So them boxes that are there, that's a 40% shine on the paint. They'll go up to 60 on the door. But what Dave said is, in the past when they've done them themselves, they do, and they have had some pulls off customers saying you can still see a couple of things. He said, because it's a timber door, it's just what you get. So he's advised us to go back to the customer, Tony, explain the situation, see if he still wants to go ahead with doing it that way. So Mike's going to give him a call in a minute because he's literally just been on the phone. But I've still said take the door when you drop the boxes off, and then we'll speak to Tony and see what he wants to do and see what he says. If he wants to just run with it and see how the door looks when it comes back at the 60%, he may be fine, but I think he's just trying to cover himself, the spraying lad, so that he manages our expectations and we manage Tony's. So there's Tony's windows now as well, as I say, all done, they're ready to go. And when the door's back, it's all ready to go as a package. They're just waiting to confirm when he wants them as well. I don't know if he wants them this side of Christmas or just after now, because they're fitting the top floor and they're all on site. As you see, he come and picked up himself. So yeah, we'll have to find out now. Richard started the first one now. So the boxes on the bench and the sashes are going in. Already been glazed up by Danny, which is the pile over there. And this is a spring balance box sash window, isn't it? Not, it is, yeah. Not a cords and weights. So you've seen us doing Tony's, which is the cords and weights with the pulleys at the top and the weights all at the side and the box being thicker. Now these are the exact same looking windows, but
just a spring box
inside,
rather than a full box with with your pockets and your space for your weight. So these are just like, basically made for springs.
So it's the same process, isn't it, really, but they just link in?
Yeah, they go in the groove here in the sash.
All the way up the middle?
All on by a clip here. Yeah.
Okay, sound,
So we've got to wind it up to get the tension and then clip it onto the clip.
Okay, and then that's what allows it to slide up and down on the spring?
Right, yeah. But you get pre-tension ones, what you don't have to do that. The bigger ones are the pre-tension. Smaller ones, you've got to tension yourself.
Yeah. So see all like the furniture there then, so you put all that on first on the sash now?
Yeah, we've got to do it with the 24mm units because you only get like 15mm here, so you've got to put it close to the glass. So
you put them in first, then the glass?
Well, it's easier to get your screw in, you know what I mean? Otherwise, you're touching the glass then.
Yeah. So you put all them on first, then glaze up?
Then glaze it,
Yeah, sound. And then on these ones as well, we've invested in some new pin guns, which I'll do a little demonstration in a minute. But you'll also see on here as well. So on Tony's ones, there was no vents. On this one here, because it's not in the conservation area, it requires them to be fitted. Part of building control. Conservation areas subsede building control in them areas because they can't change the look of the outside building, so they don't put vents in. But on this one, with building control being on the job, they want them in, so that's why they're being cut out on every single window, which you'll see once they're all made up. And
so we'll put them all on last once they
put them on last. Not the best looking on a sash window, but it's needed now. So again, whilst all of the jobs are going on, there was 2 French doors that have just been pushed through the factory, as well as all the bigger stuff. So I think they were stacked over there in the corner and we showed you them. So everyone knocked them up quite quick, and then Max was putting them together and Danny, and then they got put over there in the corner, but they're now being done. Richard hung them all up. It's all being primed, ready to go out. So you see the grey primer that's on them, but they're done. And as I say, another job that's been going through the factory, as well as all the bigger stuff going on. So this little pile you see here is like little slide jobs getting pushed through. Got nice 2 French doors there, done, ready to go out now on site. So our lovely oak door and frame is now being oiled up, so I'm not going to touch it, it's quite wet. But Craig's now just oiled it all up now. So as I say, the frame and then the door over here, all freshly oiled. As I say, we're fitting this one as well. Someone did say in the comments about the grain of the oak should have been the same as the sides going up. So again, it's preference. On this particular door, we asked the customers, we always ask them when we do an oak, which way they would like certain things, especially with panels like that. And they asked for it to follow the dividing piece of the head and stuff. So rather than going up on the same as the styles of the door, they wanted it to be the same as the middle of the door, the mid-rail. So again, personal preference. I don't know what I'd prefer. Maybe I'd want to see both ways, but and see what it would look like the other way. But for it to all run in nice like that, quite like it, to be honest. It's a little bit of a different shade anyway than them two, so it's sort of offsetting anyway. So but again, yeah, personal preference. But nice door, near enough ready now to go out and get fitted on site. Once one door's off Craig's bench, the next door's back on. So this door now is for a customer up in Manchester. It's a friend of Chris's actually, who's come on and wants front door, and I think there's a couple of windows, but for now we're doing the front door this side of Christmas for him. So it's now made its way down to Craig's bench, which means everyone else is done with it. It's all been knocked up, glued. Craig's just putting the final little bit of filler on now, and then he'll start sanding all this down, getting it prepped and ready, and putting any design details on that needs to be done. The frame is actually sitting there on the floor, which is all done. And when you see the image of it, it's a nice door, like the size of that there, that's 1250 wide, that's a nice big door. And again, you could not buy this off the shelf, it has to be done bespoke. And it'll be solid this once it's done. And another good door that's getting pushed through the factory. And speaking of doors as well, Max is working on another door again. So again, loads of doors coming through all the time. And I think Devo looking through is on another door as well. So I don't know what it is at the moment, but everyone's coming on for doors, whether it's the advertising that we're doing on the website and on the socials and PPC, Google AdWords, but a lot of doors are coming in at the minute, which is good for us, like nice and easy to do for us. The lads like doing them, and it's good to see a different variants all the time coming in. It makes it more exciting rather than doing the same thing over and over. So as I say, another good door there for someone over in Manchester, Stockport. So yeah, what I'm going to do today is show you a little demo of our new nail guns. So these are like a 23 gauge nail gun, so a little bit smaller. It's like the size of an impact, so you can imagine over an impact. There's an impact, very similar in size. Nice little small nail gun, and this is now for doing any type of bead. Got my glasses on ready, prepped. I'm just looking at Danny's little chisel as well that he's made. Break that in it. Belt of that in it. The bead now, normally in the past, the lads have obviously the little smaller little tack nails have used a hammer and the fingers to do it. But now, with this gun, it's an absolute belter. So it's got like a little safety there. So normally on a nail gun, when you push in, you have to push in and then pull the trigger as your safety. Your safety's that little back trigger there now, like that. So then you literally fire it straight in, like that. So easy. Don't know if you can bring the camera here now and show it. So yeah, so just looking at where that's been pinned there, so that's been pinned 4 times. You can just about see it with your naked eye, and how strong them pins are as well. Like you'd think like they're not that strong, but look at that, solid. And now for us to touch up and do what we need to do, there's very minimal work required, and so much better finish for us, and it's quicker for the lads to do it with that rather than using a hammer to try and get the smaller pins in. And from a finishing point of view, much better. I like getting things right and not looking at things thinking, oh, what's that there? So whether it's a sprayed window, an oak door, doesn't matter now what it is. Even if it's going out prime for us now, that's what the lads are going to do, which is much better and easier and quicker and more enjoyable, innit? And I say the other door that we're speaking about, that's on Max's bench, is another detailed door getting done. And you'll see now he's just putting all the beads on. But to begin with, when it comes down to the flat panel. As you can see, all the panels are flat, and then all the detail gets put on afterwards. And he's just working now, putting all the moulding on. So it looks like an arc or a skirt type things, like an arc, I'd say, really finish. But he's just cutting them now on the mitre and piecing them all in together nice and neat and getting a nice cut piece. So we always put the small ones on first, then the longer ones on last. Do that if you're glazing up a window. Always put the small on first, long ones on last, because it's easier to get the play on it. And as I say, once that's done, it's going to go to Craig on his bench then to get dressed up. So yeah, I'm just going to jump in the office now and go and do some training, which I mentioned, which is our new CRM system. So we're booked in now, me and Carly should be about an hour and a half, 2 hours tops, I think, to just run through a few more things. We're already set up using it, we just need to go through a few more final bits so that we're fully integrated into the new software and we can start using it each day and upload all the existing customers and stuff like that, and then anyone new coming on, we'll go through it. So go and jump on that and I'll catch up with you in a sec. So yeah, so me and Carly have just had a nice little 2-hour training session there. So we've been doing a couple of training sessions with the new software that we've got. So obviously we do all the pricing and all the bill note of the jobs and the job sheets now through it, but there's also a cloud version which is like the CRM, which you can able to manage each job as it comes through, from an inquiry right the way through to being priced, to going out to do your site survey and then starting the production. So it's good for us. So we've actually got some tablets now for the lads to start putting the hours on each job. So obviously when we price a job, we'll have a certain amount of man hours assigned to build, for instance, a door or slash window, and it'll be so many hours machining, so many hours doing assembly, so many hours doing the finishing, so many hours then glazing up ready for it to go out. So the lads then can go on and write, and it's not to track them, it's to track us in the office and make sure our pricing's up to date and up to speed, and we're allowing the right amount of time per project and per aspect of the job, and whether we need to change things or not. So it allows us to do that. So on the dashboard you can see, you know, which is, as I say, it's like a basic CRM system, similar to what we use across every trade and what we use in property on the management stuff for the properties. So it comes in and you basically have an estimating job that you can put your job estimates on there, and it just tracks you through like a timeline, customer response, whether they want to go ahead, if you've took a deposit, when it's been taken, how much it is, booking your site survey, then going into production, do the production of the job, and then once it's ready, going for delivery, installation if it's being installed by us, invoiced again, but we've got to change a couple of things around. We want the invoice to be prior to delivery or after installation if we've installed, and then completion. But then it also allows us to track all the jobs at once in terms of what the turnover is, what jobs are booked in to go out. So we're going to have a screen outside for the lads to see the timeline of jobs, what's come in, what's being confirmed, what's next for them to start building, start making, so they can all sit there when on the break, have a little look, like, where am I up to? And it's not in everyone's mind, because at the moment it's all in Mike's mind, and we need to try and extract that from him and put it onto a system so that everyone can look at it and look at it in their own time, in their own way of looking and working things out and see where they're up to and stuff, rather than being told, right, that's what we need to do next. We still have that communication but trying to get it all on the system. And then also what's good about this is when people come on and they've ordered a job, we'll put on all the pictures, all the plans of what they want, all to do with that job. If they come back on a week or two later, or we do a site survey and the measurements have changed, or the window's been taken off or added, we can put it all in and timestamp it. Also then when or if anything happens afterwards and we've delivered, there's a mistake or there's a window missing, we can always refer back to them when things were changed and go, oh no, that's when we had the information. And it's all in one point at the moment. It's all on emails and everyone's looking back saying, oh, I sent you this then, sent you there. And because with windows and doors there's so many variances to what you can have, it's hard sometimes to keep track of it. And when there's so many different things coming through the factory and it's in people's mind, I sent you this image or I didn't send you this email, to get it all in one system, any one of us can go on and have a look where we're up to and check the information's right and hold everyone accountable to make sure it's there. And then if we've done all we can, then it's down to the customer then to look at it and go, oh, I didn't send it, or I've made a mistake with the measurements, because 20-30 mil there can make a big difference on a set of doors or a window. It's in an opening that you have to remake and it could be a couple of grand. So we have a lot of time now as well. People call and say, how long will it be if I order so many windows or so many doors? This will give us a timeline, which I don't want to show you because I might give you too much information of job details that's going on with personal information, but it will give us a timeline of when the job started and when it's going to be finished in the factory based on how quick the lads work. And then we can see if there's a gap then to fit that in. So if we program the job, price it, put it into our CRM and put it into our timeline, which is our Gantt chart basically, we'll be able to then see if we can fit it in and when we can fit it in, and when the estimating time will be done for it to be finished. So that whole Gantt will be built out, and then cause the lads will be updating their hours against the jobs. It'll be a live tracking against it all as well, so we can track everything and see it. So it's going to take a long time to implement fully because the company itself's never worked on nothing like this before. Obviously we're used to working with it in Manchester and with the Emperor side of things, so putting it in here is a little bit more harder, but not too hard not to do it. So it'll take a little bit longer getting it into everyone's mind about what we need to do and change the culture. But once it's in properly, people will think, wow, why didn't we do that before? And why aren't we doing it again going forward and trying to implement a couple of more things? So for now, we're going in the right direction. So without going too deep into like software, because I do like software and I do like making sure it's all thing. Oh yeah, one last thing as well we can do, all the website leads that we're now getting through our new website, because we're getting quite a few, it's all going into our email inbox. It's all going to start filtering through into here, so it'll automatically come through as an inquiry into the CRM. When Carly logs on, she'll see all them. She'll then be able to schedule or request any drawings or information, then put it down for an estimate, draw the job out, price it, send it to them, and we can track the whole thing from that person going on our website to then getting it sent out to site, fitted and completed. So good, like all stuff like that. So yeah, as I say, without getting too deep, I'm going to hand you back over to Manchester.
So the guys are working upstairs actually, so the site lights have gone upstairs, but just thought I'd quickly show you in here again, so you can see that's what the driveway, that was the old driveway, and this is the side of the house that the boys have taken out. So this piece of steel here, I think it's sat on a post here to break it up. We designed it so we could lose a post in the wall there. If you see, we've doubled up the stud work there so we could lose that post. And again, because we're doing design and build, we can think about that, because you'll get architects doing one thing, then you'll get engineers doing another thing, because engineers just want to make sure it's right and it's safe. However, for us, we want to try and join it all up and think about design but buildability as well. So yeah, we've managed to hide the post which picks up these steels in this stud work here. So I like things like that. It's just a bit of sensible design. What we'll also do as well, I mean, I'm not sure if it's relevant here, but where radiators are going or TVs are going on walls, everyone has massive TVs now, or where we're putting cabinets on the wall, we'll put mattresses in, or we'll board it with OSB to give something so the actual people fixing to the wall got something to grip onto. But yeah, you can see we're having a set of just patio doors here and 2 small windows, which is great. You know, it keeps the cost down a bit, because they could have had all this out and had big bifolds in, but it's an elderly couple living here, like we've said. They like to cook, so they would rather have more kitchen space than they would if they had the doors and you lose all that wall space. So yeah, it's a really sort of, it's a generous build in terms of they've got loads of space, but it's also pragmatic in that it's what they need. So yeah, Our electrician Kev has been round. He's done a full M&E design with the customer along with our engineer Tom. So we know what we're doing plumbing and heating wise now. So now it's over to them to get it all ready for plasterers. And I think the idea is the first week back in Jan, we're going to hit it with the plasterers. But I don't actually know if that's true because Charlotte is the project manager on this one. She's doing a great job, by the way. Customers love her, which is great. It used to be sometimes that customers, you know, would come straight to me and wouldn't deal with our project managers. But now, it's great. I don't really need to get involved, which is the model really. So yeah, pleased with the progress. Yeah, I think we're also down to do a new consumer unit. We definitely are. What we do on the estimate sometimes, we'll say assumptions made that existing consumer unit can stay in situ, but almost every time people are adding loads more appliances and stuff, we have to change the consumer unit. When we send our prices though, it's really important that when we're pricing against other builders, we're all pricing the same spec. Some might assume it needs a consumer unit, some might not. So we do what we call a list of exclusions and notes, to be fair, which we say what we've included, what we've excluded, and anything else that they need to know. For example, we don't allow for building control services at estimate stage because they might have done their own. And I think what I always try and say to customers is make sure you're going out to builders and giving everyone the same brief, because there's nothing worse. You can't compare apples for apples. If one builder interprets it one way and one builder interprets it another way. I know with this customer that we were the only builder that priced it because they came to us for a design and build solution. We worked for them previously, the actual couples whose mum and dad it is. We worked for them previously, so they know what we're like. No, we weren't. No, we're good. No, we're fair. So they came to us with the whole design. We put it into planning for them, got that sorted, got the structural engineer stuff sorted, and now we're obviously on with the build. I absolutely love that. Loads of people claim to offer design and build, but not many people do. So yeah, I'm pleased. I feel a bit better actually, which is good. I need to get myself fighting fit because tonight it's Preferred Joinery's works night out, and then tomorrow, Saturday, it's Heavy Trades. So it's going to be a messy one. I can't be doing with not feeling well. I don't like not feeling well, especially when it's Christmas, because I love Christmas. Anyway, I'm going to head back to HQ now, but whilst I'm heading over there, let's go and have a little dip into the yard and see what we're doing. The electricians are finishing off the CCTV, and we're back on with the processing, and we're also running muck to that tip like I told you before. So hopefully by the time we're back in Jan, it will be 100% full steam ahead in that yard, finally. Oh, my cold is bad. So I'm back at HQ now, I'm in the meeting room. I thought I would take this opportunity to have a chat with you guys and address what I think is the elephant in the room. We're a decent sized company. We've got about 40 guys on the construction side. We do jobs ranging small jobs up to decent sized jobs. Like I said the other day, probably $1 million, 1.3 million I think was our biggest. You know, and we're not a tier 1 contractor, but we're also not your typical man in a van contractor. And basically we got a lot of grief in the comments about health and safety on site, and you know what, it's right. I completely own it. I think that probably for a long time now we've not been good enough on that front. And one thing I will say, I will never ever let my guys take risks, do anything dangerous. Now I know there'll be some comeback there because the guys were doing things that in theory could have been dangerous on site. On this new project particularly, because there's a lot of demolition there and it's a very dangerous part of the build. What I won't do, if my guys need scaffolding, we'll pay for it. If my guys need any safer way to do something, we'll pay for it. We're not anyone that will knowingly take risks. And I know it's a big thing on YouTube that you're putting yourself out there and basically people are going to dig you out. But you know what? I'm glad that we have been dug out because it's forced me to really focus on our health and safety. I've mentioned this a few times in the videos. Me and Alex don't deliberately want people to not be safe. You know, we give them PPE. We make them sign a docket to confirm they've had this PPE. We do construction phase plans. We do risk assessments, method statements. We do all that. We've got software in the background that helps us put that together and compile project files. However, we got lazy. And what's happened is that lazy culture has probably trickled down to our guys. Now, all the guys that work for us, and we have got some tier 1 operators working for us. I absolutely love our team. Honestly, it took us years to get these guys together. And we've been through some frogs before we found our princes. But if at the top of this company, I don't set the culture, i.e. zero tolerance for health and safety, they must always have boots. They must always have high vis. They must wear a hard hat if the work requires a hard hat, i.e. demo and stuff like that. Then if I'm not enforcing that, then it's going to trickle down. What I need to do, Alex and I, is set that culture in place and then instill that culture into our foremen and our project managers, and they can then in turn enforce our guys to do it, so that when I'm not on site, when Alex is not on site, we're not, you know, people are making the right decision. And ultimately, it's decisions that's going to protect them. Is what I don't quite understand. If I was a tradesman, I would want to feel safe. I'd want the right gear. You know, I've gone out my way. You know that I love a purchase. I've bought harnesses. Over the years, I must have bought 300 hard hats. I looked downstairs before. We've got bags and boxes of hard hats. I've got boxes of gloves, boxes of safety specs, boxes of high vis. There's no excuse. And I can't tell you, I look through the dockets, pretty much every man that's here has been issued in a bag. And remember how we did it? They've been issued a health and safety kit. But I'm not making excuses. It's on me. It'll be on me if something bad happens, and it'll be me and Alex that has to face the punishment. And then it in turn affects our families. But I just wanted to address it because I know that I could be quite clever and edit round it. But really, I'm not about that. I didn't really check the episode. I didn't have time to on the Wednesday one. And we put it out there and I looked at it, and even I knew, I was like, why did I let that slip? Why has that happened? And then look, it's trialed by YouTube and we got absolutely assassinated in the comments, but it's right. Because you know what? The people did comment, they're right. They're trying to be helpful. They're not trying to dig us out. And I'm glad, because you know what? That negative comments could one day save someone's life, because all I care about is that my guys come to work and go home safe to the families. And that's all I want. That's what I want for my children, you know. So yeah, I'm owning it and I'm putting it out there, and I'm thanking them people that did dig us out on behalf of me and Alex, you know. And you know, it was right, and I'm glad. And everyone, if you notice in the comments, I didn't give anyone grief for digging us out. I said, no, you're right, it's got to get sorted. This is getting sorted. So yeah, so this is the first thing, and I think this is what this is. Don't worry, I've done a risk assessment. This should be the first purchase. Now, again, I've been in business for 15 years and I've never bought one. I'm about to get out of this box here now. And I knew they existed, but I just assumed that our guys have got them on the van themselves, but they hadn't. Yeah, so this is what I thought it was. So, yeah, these are the insulated spades and shovels. So, I didn't realise, someone pointed out in the comments, and someone said they should be using these. They called them, I think it was shock-proof ones or something. And I was like, God, yeah, that's so obvious. Why have we not got them? Why aren't they in clock? I mean, I think the one we had a wooden handle on it, but still, this was 60 quid. So, you know, it wasn't the cheapest, but I don't care. So I bought these for Adam and Eve, and I'm going to give them, I've got 2, right? So 1 each. And I'm going to make them sign for them. And I'm going to say, look, these are yours. Keep them on the van. For any digging, anything like now, I want them to have these. I do not want anyone to take a risk. So thanks again for people that did comment. I appreciate it. It was taken in the right spirit. I don't want anyone getting hurt. Me and Alex are the same. We care about the people that work for us. And we also know it's our responsibility. It starts with us and it ends with us. So, yeah, it is what it is. But I thought I'd address the elephant in the room, because being in business is all about honesty. It's all about integrity. And this YouTube thing, I want to be honest and have integrity. I don't want to kid anyone. I want to treat our viewers and our subscribers with some intelligence. Anyway, rant over. So Dale's now just doing a little repair. He's just jump-start this big jumbo van, sorting out one of the tyres. I don't know if it's got a slow puncher or not. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. It's going out on hire next week, someone's asked. And we don't market. We've got a few vans out on hire. Well, we hire them out here and there, long-term, short-term. We don't push for it, but when it comes in, we get it. But I think this is a waste opportunity, this van. I checked on the finance and we owe too much to send it back or sell it. So what I think we'll do is I think we might turn it into a welfare truck. We talked about doing a camper and stuff, but I don't actually think this is the right van to do as a camper. So I think we're going to turn this into a welfare unit, which again ties in with the whole health and safety thing I've been talking about. So yeah, that's the idea anyway. Anyway, over at Project Abiso, we haven't actually been there for ages. Again, it's such a good job. It's such a nice job, and I would love to have cameras there all the time, but it's just not feasible. Hollywood's actually going to go there next week and shoot the windows going in from Preferred, but KTM went for a client meeting this week and he shot a little montage on his phone. So let's go have a look at Project Abiso. So I've come down here to find Dale because he was literally just outside and now he's disappeared. A lot of you guys have been asking where the human Swiss Army knife is, and I think someone thought he might have left. He's just been busy, basically. He's been tied up doing loads of little bits and pieces. He's been here a year now. We had a little catch up this week just to talk about where we want to go, what we want to do with his role. And I think what we've worked out is that Dale's almost too versatile, which has meant we've not really been able to focus him on any one thing. One of the reasons to bring him in was to grow maybe an external mechanical servicing side of the business, repairs business, which is great. That work comes in, and you've seen that whole thing progress on YouTube, but it's we've not been able to focus on that because he's just been so busy looking after our stuff, which actually is the predominant reason he's here. To be honest, it's not helped me buying all this rubbish from looking for a handle, it's not there then. All this rubbish on auction, and I said I wasn't going to dip into the auction this week, but I did. But it was a good purchase, a very good purchase, so I'm happy with that. Haven't bought any tat. I'm not buying anything mechanical or electrical that needs to be fixed. So speaking of which, this brick saw here, Dale has had a look and he said, that engine is knackered. I actually give about 60 quid for that, so I'm not bothered. But you remember the other week I talked about a donor engine off this Jenny here. Apparently it's the same engine, wherever you've gone, Hollywood. Apparently it's the same engine. But I was going to put that on the rotavator, but Mr. Ingham, my mate Dan Ingham, who does all my external repairs, said they won't fit, it won't work. So we might look into transporting that onto the brick cutter there. But it's, yeah, it's one of them things. But what we're going to do in the new year, because there's not much I can deal with next week with Dale, but we're going to get all this clear, which we are doing. We're going to get some real focus and get him a bit of structure. I think what we've decided is, unless there's a breakdown on one of the vans or the trucks, he's going to start his day in the workshop here and just be looking at our tools, servicing them, getting a van in for pre-MOT check or servicing, cleaning the stock, cleaning the stuff we've got and servicing it and making sure it's good to go back out. So yeah, it's all good, but yeah, I'm just trying to stay on top of things. So yeah, Dale basically is shot over to the yard where on those containers that I bought recently, so I've got one that's going to be a crew room and one that's going to be an office for us to run the yard, where I'll do some work in there eventually. One of them's got a hole, Dale's gone over to fix it. It's actually got quite a bit. You buy cheap, you get issues, so Dale's going to try and salvage some of them. So yeah, whether we'll see him again in this episode after this, but let's go and watch the human Swiss Army knife at work.
Hi guys, so I'm over at the aggregate yard today. Not seen me for a bit because I have been mowed under. So I'm over here. I've got to do a bit of work on the new containers. A few of them I've got holes in, so I'm gonna patch them up. So as you can see, I've set up some lights down here to move a load of stuff. But this is one of them. And there's a hole there, so I've got some plate and yeah, gonna patch it up. There we go. One, I say it was actually a bigger hole than what we first seen. It was actually, yeah, big patch, about 200mm square that I needed to then fill in. But I formed a little piece, well, a 400mm by 300mm piece of steel, formed it to take up the shape of the roof. It's like corrugated style. So yeah. Show you the welding is not the best because of the conditions, but as you can see there, it follows the form of the ceiling, so that is that. Just noticed as well there is another leak over there, so I'm just going to have a quick look at that one and yeah, have a look at the other containers.
So good to have Dale, the Swiss Army knife, back in the episodes. We'll get a bit more from him. He's well set up for it. We've got him a GoPro. He's got his own DJI. It's just because he's so busy doing bitty little jobs, he's not had a chance to record. But I know a lot of you guys really like Dale. I'm hanging on in here. I think it's just a cold, but I'm pretty bunged up. I just saw a news alert there that the UK economy has gone into second month of contraction, which is, well, interesting really when you think of all the positive things that the Chancellor did in the budget, and lo and behold, we're basically heading towards a recession, which is annoying because it always seems to hit construction first. But they are doing some positive things in that they're saying they're going to try and relax the planning laws a little bit, so it'll be easier to get planning permission for housing and stuff like that, which is a good thing because then you get a trickle down effect from the economy, really, you know, because the bigger builders tackle that, the big housing, you know, big housing developments. So then we'll end up getting the smaller stuff, and it's so on and so forth. So we'll see. Or actually, Alex and I are talking, we might even have a little go at building some houses for our own stuff, buy some land. We've looked at a couple of pieces, maybe do that. Speaking of Alex, you remember in a couple of episodes ago, we bought the house next to our project, Woodlands. It's something we had to do because we didn't want anyone else to own it, and we thought it might be interesting just to document the whole process. So Alex is going to give you an update from over there and show you where we're up to at this stage yet before we complete, etc. And then once everything goes through, we'll show you getting on site, any sort of planning process, how we're going to finance it, and so on, right to the end when it's all done and dusted and got tenants in. So, Mr. Riddick.
So I'm just on the way over to Woodlands, which is the one that you're seeing us buy at auction. Just to give you a little bit more information about it, just to explain the process of what happened, because I think the way it was delivered, people might not have understood the process. It's clear. So I'm just going to go there, just talk you through a little bit, give you a bit of information, and what I've actually thought we might do on this project as well is try and explain a bit more about the property side of it and what we do. So obviously at the moment you're watching YouTube and you're watching us do all the building side and the construction side of the property developments that we're doing, but you haven't really seen the processes before and after. So this one, or this project at least, because it's not the biggest, I want to try and do it so that I can show you evidence. So obviously now you know we've bought it at auction, or buying it at auction, so we've exchanged, and I'm going to try and explain the whole thing for you and how it happens, what we do from day one up into getting the keys, and then obviously you'll see us on site rather than just going straight to us being on site and showing you the building work. Show you the beginning process, the building side of it, and then we'll show you the back end when we rent it out on this project. So if that's something that you want me to do and I'm not just going to go off and waste my time, then let us know in the comments and say yes, so that me and Niall can make sure that when we're filming in Liverpool, we'll go here and we'll explain everything and talk you through the process of it all, from literally from putting a bid in, winning at auction, to the very end, putting a tenant in. So if that's something that, even if it's just one person wants to see, just message in the comments for me and say, yeah, please do it for me, Alex, and I'll do it and give you as much information as I can. So it'll be like a little Bible of what to do if you're buying a property. So we're standing on Woodlands Road, and if you can remember and you've watched YouTube for a while and watched us, you'll know that we already own that building there, and we've done the works on it, which we put the shop in, we converted the first floor from an office to a 3-bed flat, and we've made the top floor into a house share 4-bed flat. So now what we've done, which you've seen we did at auction, is buy the last little bit at the end there. So originally this deal, we were meant to get the flat at the top, then the building, and the whole building's all mixed bag. But we only bought that bit, the back bit, the previous owner retained, and we offered a couple of times. We had right for first refusal on this to be offered to us first before anyone else, but we couldn't reach a price that we both agreed. They wanted too high, we wanted lower than what they wanted. So long story short, they put on the market, a couple of people put offers in, they had a couple of surveys done, but then in the end it ended up falling through and they ended up putting it in the auction. We put an offer in again, pre-auction offer. They wanted 177,500. We still weren't prepared to pay that high price. But then went to the auction, which you've seen, and then when it was getting bidded on, we stopped at 170. And then there was 2 other bidders who went to 172 in the end, and it was unsold, the lot. So come up showing unsold on the lot, which then means it didn't hit the reserve. So because the reserve wasn't met, the auctioneer was unable to sell it. They then called us straight away and said,
yeah, it's just a quick phone call. I can see obviously you've just been bidding against a couple of people on the property on Woodlands Road.
yeah,
So the bidding reached 172, but the reserve in the property is 175. So it's
Okay.
gone up as being available now at 175.
yeah.
Would you be happy to go in at that? Because obviously if you go onto a website, you can actually bid.
So what are you saying? You're saying if I buy it now 175, it'll be mine?
It'll be yours, yeah,
What,
straight away.
who are them other 2 bidders then? Why wouldn't they do it?
They might.
Okay.
So I'm calling you.
First.
And I've got my colleagues calling me other people.
Ah,
So
okay.
there's 3 of us calling, so we're all dialing out right now.
Okay.
So whoever presses that button first gets the property.
Yeah, sound. Done, mate.
Let's have a look. It should update my system now. Yeah, sold. That's all yours, mate.
Sound. If you buy it now for 175, which is the reserve price, so they set a reserve price at 1775. It's yours. So then I asked the question saying, why aren't the other 2 people then doing it? And their colleagues were on the phone to them at the same time as being on the phone to me. So then in my mind I'm thinking they've both gone higher than us. 172 is their highest offer for another 3 grand for them. They could have just done that and hit the 175k. So I've thought it's not worth it for us to let this go for that price. We can make that money up somewhere, whether it's in the build, because we build for ourselves, we've got our own construction company, so we can make it stack more financially for us than anyone else. Why would I let them go and buy it and not us buy it when we can build for a lot cheaper? So I thought for the extra money we want to get it and lock it in, and that means then we secure that whole corner of that building. And what we're going to do is, at the moment it's an office, so it's Class E, which is use Class E, which means it could be offices, it could be medical centre, couple of things. We're going to put it for change of use and change that from Class E to Class C3 under Class MA. Again, once I go through the process and people want to know more information about it and the process behind it, let me know in the comments. As I say, I will talk more detail of how we do things with the planning side, but essentially we'll put in for planning and then we will convert it into a 2-bed Muse house. Not the hardest build in the world because not much structural inside, more cosmetic bits, but still be a good job and it'll still rent out for good money, and it's in a good area. And as I say, we'll control that whole building. One thing I will touch on before we leave as well is the scaffold. You'll remember that we used a cherry picker at the beginning to do the works on the roof and on the chimney bits that we needed to do, because we didn't want to pay for the scaffold because it was too expensive. Well, we've had leaks now off the parapet wall that we didn't foresee would happen, and it's been quite bad, and we've had no choice now but to build a scaffold, albeit a lot smaller one, just to get us up to the parapet and work from there with the harness. So the lads are going to do it, so they're now booked in to come and do it, strip back the roof, repair it all better, put new felt in, and then get the scaffold down, and then we should be good for the future. So again, with all that being said, I'm going to hand you back over to Manchester and I will go into more detail about this in up and coming videos if it's deemed as though there's interest in it.
So yeah, we're having a bit of a clear out, a little pre-Christmas spruce up, getting rid of a load of rubbish. And this TV, which was the one in the meeting room, as you know, we've replaced that now. That is now, do you throw these TVs away? It seems too good to throw away, but it is pretty antiquated now. Speaking of TVs, over in the yard, we're finishing the CCTV, and hopefully by the end of today, it'll be up and running. I've got one of these PTZ cameras, which I can control, and it gives me a 360 of all the yards. So, yard. So I've got Bizzle and Kenzie back from Abiso in one of our Lutons. These, we were just saying, me and Biz, these things are an absolute godsend because it means we can ferry stuff all over to our jobs and just park this up outside the job. Also, I've just said to Sean, he can sleep in it as well.
Yeah, and everybody wants
Yeah. But no, ideal. How's the job going, boys, anyway?
flying.
Yeah?
Absolutely flying, son.
Yeah?
Yeah, smashing it. Yeah, client's happy. Client's been down for a meeting this week. All the stairs to the loft, the stairs from downstairs, all in.
How long did it take you to get them stairs in?
I can't tell you that because you won't be putting me on price, would you? Yeah, no, flew me.
You don't mess about, do you?
A day.
Client's buzzing, to be fair, which is good. Yeah, I wish we'd get down there because it's a proper job. That get down there more, it'd be such an interesting job.
Well, you don't want to go down this time of year because I've got 2 jumpers on.
Is it cold?
Freezing me.
Is it cold?
Yeah,
freezing. Cold? Anyway, you're on light duties, aren't you?
I am, yeah. Just had a hernia operation.
Yeah, but your light duties are like other people's full day's graft, aren't they?
Yeah, got to be done.
But yeah, we miss you, boys. We miss you.
Well, we don't miss around here.
Yeah, like a bounce guy. I know I was going to say, yeah, it's a good place to be.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work, Bizzle.
We'll
we
try
appreciate you. Coming out tomorrow night?
What's going on tomorrow?
Just nothing.
Oh, well, if everybody else is on the piss.
Works do. Works
I'm
do.
on it.
You coming, Kens?
I'm not, no. I won't.
Don't look at me.
To be fair, he had a mare last year though, didn't he? To be fair.
If
What, are you on a date?
If he likes going out
No,
late,
I'm
he's
going out
out
with a few of
with
my
us.
mates.
All right, you pick your mates over us. What are you saying? Don't you like me? You nearly broke me rib with an acro there.
Good shot, I thought.
Jeez. Anyway, keep it up, boys. It's starting to rain. Don't get my hair wet. Let's go. It's literally 3:20, and it's getting dark in Manchester, which is pretty grim. The weather's not the best either. So yeah, I've now got on my phone full oversight of the yard from every angle now. I can make sure everything's safe and secure. I can see what the guys are up to. I can also keep an eye on stock levels as well. So the idea is we can order and keep the yard replenished when we start getting more primary aggregate back in the yard. I forgot, I own this van as well. This is literally, do you remember these old Transit Connects? I used to absolutely love these. I had about 5 of them, but they're not that practical because they're only really any good for the brickies. So this is Rob's. You know, you met Rob once or twice. He's working Abiso at the moment. But again, look how sickly green this one is. And also it's a 66 plate, so I'm going to get a private plate on this one. But look, when you compare it to this one here, which is the newer design, yeah, it's so much nicer, isn't it? Oh, this has took a couple of prangs, this, hasn't it, Hollywood? So, I think, again, when we can factor in some downtime, I'm going to get this in and give it the once over. It's done like 30,000 miles, so it's, you know, it's not worth getting rid of. And a lovely little vans, they drive lovely. And you know what, looking inside here, he's kept it spot on. So yeah, preferred joinery's works due tonight. I need to get some energy in. Honestly, I'm done in. And then back tomorrow, and then it's the every trade works due. Don't know if I'll show you some footage from there. We'll see how we get on. But yeah, I do like Christmas parties, but I don't like being ill at Christmas parties. It's crazy, you know. I might talk about this maybe over the Christmas break, but our very first Christmas do was me and my Uncle Paul, which is cousin Alex's dad, just us two in a pub, the White Lion. Although the White Hart it was actually, I remember. And just us two, we actually were joking about it, saying, God, maybe one day we'll have a few. Tomorrow, there's 41 people coming. And that's crazy because 15 people can't make it for other reasons. So yeah, crazy. But yeah, amazing how far we've come. All started with 2 men in a pub. Maybe that'll be a title of a video one day. Have a great weekend, guys. If you're on your Christmas do, enjoy it. Be careful. Get back home safely to your loved ones. One last week before the Christmas break where we all get to relax if you're not working over Christmas, that is anyway. Have a great weekend. Let us know if you like this video. Click the like button. Click the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. I'll see you on Wednesday. Merry Christmas. Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas. Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas.